The anxiety of waiting for the next flare is a relational tax. How to navigate remission while also still finding ways of having joy in your relationships. I want to be able to talk about that right now. As a therapist who was recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, I understand both sides of what it is like to see folks that you love and that you care about, and to recognize that your body is not the same, and to try to find ways of connecting and relating and having yourself not be able to do the things that you normally would do. So I've seen that in my own life and in my own relationships. I've also seen that from my clients, where I have couples who come in and maybe their relationship was okay when they first started off, but then one person or the other develops an autoimmune disorder. Sometimes both develop an autoimmune disorder, and it becomes a place where a lot of folks describe this abandonment, feeling like all of a sudden this person that was there for them is just absolutely gone, or sometimes even feeling like they don't even know who they are anymore. How can you even look in the mirror and be able to know who you are and how you're going to show up in a relationship? It takes a lot of time and energy. Over this weekend, I had an experience where I was supposed to be doing something with my kids and had other familial obligations. And what ended up happening was I just ran out of energy. And it wasn't like a slow, okay, out of energy. It was abrupt. And I was like, hey, honey, I am so, so, so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to stop. I have to actually hopefully get in the shower, hopefully make it out without fainting, and get in my bed. Now, I didn't tell my kids that, that I was hoping to get in the shower and not faint and get in my bed. But I did say, Mommy just has to stop. I have to get to that place where I go take a shower and I need to go get in the bed. And I'm sorry. I know we still have this and that, and the third that we said we were going to do. And I overpromised. And as a Black mom who loves showing up for her kids, loves doing things with her kids, I never want to not deliver. Double negative, triple negative, I don't know, sorry. And so if you're an English teacher out there, or somebody who's really studied grammar, I'm so sorry. That's just the way that needed to come out in that moment. But there's this pattern where you're not going to be able to show up, even like, me in this video, not being able to show up in the way that you would like to, in the way that you're familiar with. That is hard. It's not just hard on yourself and your body, it is hard on your relationships. And so my youngest, she got mad with me. I'll be really honest. She was angry with me because she couldn't understand why I could not go do the thing. It's so simple. Why don't you just go do the thing? Probably should be more specific. So I pay my kids to help me out and do things. If you're not aware, I recently moved my office. And so my daughters helped me with moving some smaller pieces. They also helped me with decorating, which I'm so grateful for them. So grateful. So I was paying them and depositing money, some money in their bank account, and then also some money I was handing them cash because they have things that they want to do. One of my oldest is supposed to be hanging out with friends and she needed cash. And my other kid was like, she wanted to go to Five Below and she wanted to get all these snacks and things for school. And I get it. We got to the bank. It was a really long line. And I was like, and then I had to use the restroom. And I was like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. But I thought maybe if we got there, maybe if we just waited, maybe I could, maybe I could. And after a while, I just couldn't. And I said, girls, I am so sorry. I need to go home. And they were like, oh, well, why don't you just use the restroom here? I was like, some of you may identify with this, probably not everybody, but I get to a point, I am tired of using everybody else's restroom. I don't want to do the guesswork of going into a restroom and not knowing what I'm going to find and being frustrated and irritated and disgusted. I'd rather just go home and use my bathroom at home. And I just was at that point. I'm like, look, I've been out all day. I've worked all day. We're at the bank. We've been in line. It's going to take a while. I can't wait that long. I just need to go home. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. And my youngest was like, but we haven't gone to Five Below. And, I needed to get new cash. I need this. And that. And I was like, I, I can't. I can't. And so this was something that was directly affecting our relationship. And so I had to find some sort of way of sitting with it. I definitely validated my kids' concerns. I was like, I get it, get you frustrated. I'm not in a place where I'm able to do what I normally am able to do. And that has got to be annoying, it's frustrating, and exhausting because this has not been just happening one time, it's happened multiple times where I was going and going and going and going, and I just couldn't. Got to a place where I couldn't go anymore. And when folks look at me, they don't think that, you're sick or they don't think anything's wrong with you. I still look like the same mommy. I still look like the same person that I can show up the way that I normally would show up. But my body I'm so thankful to have actually have a diagnosis. There's so many folks out there who don't have a name for what's going on in their body and then why their body's unable to show up in the way that they know it should show up. I finally have a name for it, which helps me a lot in terms of coping and planning. So I really had to take some time to sit down, particularly with my youngest child, and say, hey, look, I get it. This is frustrating. I'm not showing up the way that I usually do. And sometimes I get one thing done, I'm not able to get all the things done. Oh, yeah, that's it. They also wanted to go to the library. We did get the library in. We did not get the bank in. We did not get Five Below in. We just didn't get it in. We didn't get it in. So I just told her, I said, how about in the future, when there's something you really, really want to do, how about we layer it, but we layer it in the sense that we're just only going to just do one thing. And I can only commit to just doing one thing because we've got several things that we've had to push off because we thought we could do multiple things in one day and my body just can't anymore. So she said, okay. So how do you find your joy in that? Does that sounds like a bummer. I'm not the fun mom anymore. I'm the bummer, right? And um nobody wants to be a bummer. Nobody wants to be wet blanket. Nobody wants to be the one who your energy just gave out. It's almost like the rug being pulled up underneath you. You're like, oh, got nothing left. So we're having to find smaller ways of being able to enjoy our time together. Smaller ways of finding our joy. And so when I say joy, I mean a very different word than happiness. Happiness is like a mood, something that we can shift in and we can shift out. Um, but I can find joy even when I'm crying. So joy is something that's to me is deeper. It doesn't shake. It is a stance that you're able to get to. And so one of the things that, got back in the car, again, I have to pee, so I'm just like focused on just getting home, going to use the restroom, and then getting in that shower, getting in my bed. Like that's all I want to do at that point. And so we're on our way home. And one of the things that I'm so thankful for is my kids love musicals. I love musicals. They love musicals. I'm so grateful that they got bit by the theater bug, so to speak. And I was like, let's play something, like why don't one of you pick a song, and then the other person will pick a song, and then we'll pick a song. And um, my oldest, she decided to play this song with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and it's the Get Happy song. And I'd only heard it maybe one or two other times. She found it and she brought it to me. And so she played it. And it's if you've never heard it before, it is Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, regardless of what you think about those two singers. It is them singing this it's an older song. I forget how old the song is. But it's like forget your troubles, come on, get happy. It's that song, but it's softer and right before it there's kind of like an inspirational message, specifically in our society with all the division that's going on. And it's just kind of like beautiful and melodic and encouraging. And so even though we were going home even though I was being a bummer, it was a moment where we all got to take some time and even in our disappointment, connect with some joy. We're together. We're together. And that's what matters. Other ways of finding our joy. One of the things that I love to do in my family is I love cooking for my family. With me being diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, I just don't cook as much as I used to. And so I have different times where the kids will kind of help me out. And on Sunday, um, both of my girls were trying to figure out who's going to make dessert. And we usually make dessert on Sundays to share with each other. And uh, my youngest was upset because my oldest had apparently done it the week before and I forgot. And so I told my oldest, I was like, hey, actually, I am exhausted. We had a really busy weekend and I didn't feel like I could cook on Sunday. And I spent a lot of time resting the whole day. And so I asked her, I said, would it be okay if you cooked dinner and your sister made dessert? And so she's like, okay. So my oldest cooked dinner and my master bedroom, it's not far from the kitchen. It's one of those that's like a split level deal at the house. And so I just kind of had my room door open and I was able to just kind of sit in the bed because it was just a lower energy day for me. And I wanted to make sure I was saving up energy to be able to start off my work week. And I was just smelling all the smells in the kitchen, just listening to my daughter, my oldest, playing some music. And she's cooking us dinner. And then my youngest is in the at our kitchen table, just kind of like working on our brownies. She made some brownies for us, and it was just lovely, absolutely lovely. All the smells, all the sights. And so even though I was sitting there in my bed, I still felt like I was a part of it. And so I just shared with my kids, I'm thinking, you know what I love? They're like, what? I said, I love the noise of just us being us and us being together. And they were like, yeah, this is good. And so that Sunday, I usually sit down with the family. We always usually sit down for Sunday for lunch and eat together as a family. My energy was so low, I could not. So my kids were like, do you want us to feed you in bed? I'm like, yes, I want to be fed in bed. So they got my food. Um, one of my oldest, she actually wanted to go sit outside and eat, so she went and sat outside. My youngest was still inside. She was like, well, I want to sit inside. Um, Long story short, but my husband's like, okay, if we're not all sitting together, like I'm gonna go vacuum out the vehicle. My oldest is going to a party later on this weekend, and so he wanted to vacuum out the vehicle so it was ready to pick up all her little girlfriends, and so they could go to this party. And so he's like, I'll eat when I come back. So I was like, okay, cool. So he went on ahead to go vacuum out the vehicle. My oldest was outside, enjoying outside. I'm sitting in my bed, I'm eating. And my youngest says, oh, can I join you? I say, yeah. So she actually goes and grabs a chair from the kitchen and puts it right at the, goodness, right in front of my room door. Um, she, when she eats, sometimes she drops things on the floor, just full disclosure. And so she's like, I'll just have my chair right here so I can easily clean it. And I'm like, okay, good. Like, my room has carpet. So she's trying to be super thoughtful. And so she just ate and I ate and we just enjoyed each other's company. And things were just simple and they were beautiful. And I keep thinking of this quote, and I'm going to find it and then I'll put it in the description box below. But I think the quote says something like, we were together and I forget the rest. Like that literally is the quote. Like, we were together and I forget the rest. Like the whole point is just to be together. Like, that is a place where you can find your joy. And so who is your together? Like I'm sitting here talking about, my kids right now. Other videos I've talked about being with my husband and just us being together. Some videos you've heard me talk about my little dog. I'm a plant person, so sometimes I'll talk about my plants or being outside, hanging out with friends. What is your together? Is it with family? Is it with friends? Is it in nature? Is it in a place where you can connect to spiritually? Regardless of where you're at, even if it's literally in a hospital bed, where is my joy? The world could be burning down. Everything can be wrong. And sometimes joy is not readily available. Sometimes we have to find it. The last time that I was in the hospital and I was with my family, goodness, I didn't realize I was going to get a little choked up. I'm just sitting there, just laying there, and realizing I'm not with the people that I wanted to be with. And I was like, what is my joy? What's my joy? My joy in that moment was I'm in a hospital bed. I'm alive. And I mean, I'm not saying this to be flip, y'all. Like I know people say, oh, you're alive, aren't you? I'm not saying this to be flip. I mean this to be for real. I'm alive. I actually caught it. I'm getting help. I'm safe. This room is clean. I've got people coming here every hour, checking on me so that I can go home and I can be with my family. That was my joy. We don't always get to choose where we are. We surely don't get to choose what happens to us. In this life, we have trials. We all do. They just look different. And so, my hope for you is in the midst of trying to figure everything out, that you would also take some time to, when joy is not present, find it. It often helps give you the break that you need to be able to keep moving forward. Sorry, I realized I started shifting into some of my supervisees call it my therapist voice. And my therapist voice, I realized, was getting softer and softer, and I wasn't sure if y'all were going to catch it on the audio. Full disclosure. So, my name is Virginia. I'm a licensed mental health therapist. I work with relationships. And my hope is that you take good care of yourself, take care of others, and seriously find your joy. Find it. Take care.